Okay. No worries. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to the team. Okay. Okay. Can you you guys cannot see my screen? Let me start presenting and present again. What about now?
Yeah, it's good now. But if you like switch to another screen, that is when we can see it. So,
Okay. Okay. Sure. Rosina, what about? Can you hear now? Okay. No. I think whenever Irani is unmuting himself, there's a lot of noise. Sorry about that. Okay, great. So I think you're good. I hope demilitarized zone. Okay, coming back to the topic, I hope demilitarized zone is clear now. I mean, you don't have to go into the details in the route. It's just that as part of the rule, it's just, okay. You should know what is DMZ, firewall, and switch. I was going to company network when they're working from home or away. No, that's not the DMZ. So Rehan has a question. A good question, in fact. Logging into a company network when they're working from home or away. No. So basically, DMZ is a limited access to limited application or servers. Typically, how company employees have access to Intel network is through VPN, virtual private network. So VPN. Virtual private network. So every system. Oh, sorry. Rosina, DMZ applies to work from home. Oh no, no, sorry, I missed that, Rosina. There was a lot of messages, so didn't read it. Okay, yeah, Rosina had the same question. DMZ applies to do work from home. No, so getting access. So basically, employees that are working for a company will need access to all the applications because they're employees, right? DMZ is only for the people who are not as part not the people, they are not part of the organization. Some third parties, for example, if I have a vendor, if I'm using a third party service, okay, exactly like guest, yeah, true, to guest, okay, guest or some third vendor, the third party vendor who needs access to your server for doing some functionality or to improvise or to do something, okay. So DMZ is only for those people, but for the employees that are part of the organization, the company will install VPN connector on their own laptop. That is called VPN, virtual private network. What they have to do is, uh, I will share it later on. I also have a VPN installed on my laptop, by which I can connect to my network, company's network, and I can access all the files and stuff which is in the Intel network. So it's actually VPN, not DMZ, just to clear up the question. Okay. Any questions or any confusions? Okay, great. Yeah, eventually, VPN is also a concept. I will, please remind me, I can tell you in detail later on, but just to stick with the topic, that's not in the scope right now. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. I can actually show you. I can actually show you how it works, how it looks like. It's simple. It's just that they will have application installed on your laptop. You have to open it, enter your username and password, the credentials that your company gave you, and once you connect it, you will be able to access all the servers. And this all setup will be done by company networking team or client services. It's not your responsibility. As soon as you join a company, they will have VPN installed on your system. All you have to do is it's an application. You just have to double click, and a login password prompt will appear. You have to enter username and password, and it will say, okay, you're not connected to the so and so XYZ company network, and then you can access your servers and stuff. Okay. Any other questions before I move forward? Yeah, it's yes, the recorder is on, of course. Yep. Okay. Any further questions before I move forward? Okay, so I think I'm good. Moving forward, I hope everyone can see my screen. So moving forward, now let's see what typical assets exist in Intel network. Okay, laptops, servers, switches, router, etc. What all we have, you know, discuss printers, copiers, a lot of different stuff. Okay, so these all are the machines, and in general, they all are called assets. So I'm giving a term called assets. Whenever I tell assets, that means laptop, servers, all the devices that are available in the Intel network. Typically, you can think of a physical device, okay? Now, what happens when these assets connect to Wi-Fi, to internet? They get a Wi-Fi, they get an IP address, okay? So every asset, like every laptop or server, when they connect to a Wi-Fi, they get the IP address. So right now, for example, you can check your own IP address of your own laptop because you're connected to Wi-Fi. You will get a unique IP address of your own laptop. Okay, that's what I mean. You will understand why I'm explaining the IP address concept. Okay, so IP address basically are in two types of IP address. They're two types of nature. Okay, one is internal IP address, one is external IP address. Now the question is, how do you identify what is internal IP address, what is external IP address? This is really important to understand for threat vulnerability management because that we will find the vulnerabilities based on IP address. So please concentrate, okay? So I repeat, whenever we connect to Wi-Fi, of course, every laptop or every asset, every server will be assigned a unique IP address, okay? And IP address basically are divided in two types: internal IP address and external IP address. Let me show you. Let me show you what are the internal IP address ranges and external IP ranges. Okay, internal IP ranges is anything that starts with 10 dot, 172 dot, or 192 dot is considered as internal IP address. Okay, and external, apart from those three, any other IP address that starts with any number are considered as external IP address. Okay, so internal IP addresses, 10 dots, 172 or 192 dot, these IP address will be used within the internal network. Okay, and external IP address is used is flagged when a system is connected to internet. So what I mean by that is you have your laptop, okay? So now what you can do is you can run a command on your own laptop. Let's try to run this command. Open your CMD command prompt and run this command. Put that command in chat. Is anyone trying it? Okay, so what I will do, let me share my whole screen, complete screen, so everyone can see that. Okay, now can everyone see the command prompt running on my laptop? Okay, so I think everyone can see. I just got yes from Rehan. Everyone can see my screen, right? The black screen that is popping up on my. Okay, great. So what I mean by that is, if you want to check your internal IP address, your system or laptop internal IP address, what you have to do is run cmd, this command prompt, this is what I mean, and then run a command ipconfig. It will give out few details. Now you have to think, okay, I'm connected to wireless. Okay, there's two things: Ethernet, and wireless. Ethernet is when you will connect to a router through wired connection, and wireless is of course when you connect to Wi-Fi. So right now I'm on Wi-Fi, and my IP address is this. which is internal IP address. Now, what I mean by external. So I hope you guys, everyone got the concept of internal. What I mean by that is, okay, internal. Now, what I mean by external, how external is popped up. Now, to check your external IP address, there are a few websites out there where you can just go and it will show you external IP address. So my external IP address, my laptop's external IP address is this. How I'm getting this external IP address? So basically, the router that is set up on your home. The router that is sitting in your home that is connected to the internet. When you send a communication out, when you put down any request, so for example, I did ipvoid.com, okay? So this website is reading my connection of 73.288, which is actually the router's external IP address. I hope it's not confusing. So the router that you're using in your own home, okay, when it connects, so you send a request to ipvoid.com. That's what I did just now. The traffic will go to the router, okay, which is in my home, and then it will connect to the internet. When internet connects back to when internet sees the router traffic, it's detecting the router external IP address, and there is no way anyone can route, anyone can investigate and reach, anyone can know the internal IP address of my machine using external IP address. I know this topic is a little confusing, so as of now, just understand what are internal IP address, what are external IP addresses. Okay, anything that starts with 10.172.192 dot are considered as internal, and any other IP addresses apart from this will be considered as external. So, this is kind of off topic, but just to give you a brief around it, internal service provider, what they will do is they will provide. So, for example, when you go to ISP, okay, and you say I need internet connection, they will assign a subnet, okay, to your home, to your particular apartment or home. They will say, okay, so this is my customer, and this is Rosina, okay, for example. So basically, Rosina has a question so that everyone is on the same page. So a single router has both internal and external IP addresses. So that's a question by Rosina, okay? So, okay, I'll come to that question, Irani. So Rosina, coming back to your question, a router. So basically, when ISP, when you get a Comcast, okay, for example, an internet service provider, what they will do is for Rosina, they will assign the subnet. Any laptops like X, Y, Z, when they come into your home and they connect to your Wi-Fi, they will get this type of IP address. Okay, so they will assign a subnet. A 24 means this is a range of 24. So that's what this is a networking concept. And when you expand /24, this is what the expansion is. This is what the expansion is. 10.34.5.6 to 10.34.5.25. So you have from 6 to 25 IP addresses. Okay, and if you have like 10 guests at your home, and when they connect to Wi-Fi, they will get individual IP addresses from this range, and that's where your internal IP address is. Everyone that are in your own network, on your own Wi-Fi, everyone will get a unique IP address from this range. Okay, that's inside. Now the router will have one external IP address only, one external IP address, only one. For example, let's take 30.56.45. Okay, this is one of the external example. Now, all the systems, all the XYZ members that are connecting to the internet, and if you check their external IP address, it will be same, because everyone is connected is using the same router. and then all the connections are going through that router. So internet will see that, okay, this is the IP address of the router, and this is the location. So all the machines that are under internal network, one network, will have same external IP address. So good question, Cho-Yoon. I will come to that question later on after I solve Irani's. So Rosina, is that clear? So yes, router will have a set of internal IP addresses and one external IP address. Is that clear? Confused? Okay. I mean, it's a complete networking topic. You don't really have to know as of now, because eventually when you learn and when you work, that's how you understand. Um, okay. So to your question, in simplified way, to your question, so a single router has both internal and external IP address. Router will have multiple internal IP address. I mean, a range. Okay. I hope you can see my notepad that I'm typing right now. Okay. So internal IP address, a router will have a set of internal IP address. I mean, basically a range. 10 dot, the first hexadecimals will be, first three hexadecimals will be same, as you can see. Only the last one will change because this is your range, where everyone that is connected to your connected to your Wi-Fi will have this IP address. But router will only have one external IP address. So as of now, just keep that in mind. Okay. Okay. So even the IP address of military zone will be 10. Yes. So demilitarized zone will have internal IP address and external IP address as well. Okay, based on how it's deployed. It's a whole other concept. That's what I'm saying. I understand everyone's question, but it's just that it's taking our training to all networking concepts. So IP address of militarized zone, yes. Internal IP address and both. It will have both. Okay. To Salim Irani, is that okay, Irani?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have another question by Toveen. What if the guests are more than range? What happens? Good question. So usually, the way it works is there is another protocol.
What's that question again?
Sorry, what was that?
What was the question, Toyin?
The question from Toveen is, what if the guests are more than the range? So, for example, she has a good question. So this is around. Let's take 0. Okay. So basically, it has like 255 IP addresses. Okay. So her question is what if the range, what if the guest is greater than the range? Okay. So so there's a protocol called DHCP. Okay, which is part of what it does is it assigns IP address to the XYZ machines. So these assignments will be done by the DHCP protocol. Okay, and whenever there are more guests than the IP ranges, the remaining, for example, in this situation there are like 45 more guests. Okay, they will not get an IP address. They will wait unless and until X leaves that network and this IP address get free. And then what DHCP will do? Oh, okay, I have a new IP address free. Now I will assign to A, the new person. Is that clear, Toveen? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, good question. Okay. So I have a question from Rehan. So my internal IP address changes whenever I'm connected to a different. Yes. So Rehan asked a question. Oh, I believe it's for everyone. Yes. Whenever based on the network that you connect, your internal IP address changes every time. So what about the case when more than 425 nodes? Okay. So Ali Asgar has a question. So Ali Asgar has a question. So what about the case when more than 225 nodes yeah. So in that situation, the the nodes that are more, I mean, DSCP is like first come first serve. Okay, and the nodes that are extra than the range, they will still wait. They will not get an IP address. Eventually, they will not connect to the internet. That's the case. That's the reason companies buy big ranges so that they don't ever get shot of this type of situation. So, okay, another question by Tuvin. Is that does your answer the question, Ali Asgar? Ali, can you hear me? Okay, if the company have 500 nodes, okay. So the rest of the people will just set because there is no IP address to assign. So DSCP will still keep monitoring, so that the people, I mean the device that are already holding IP address, DSCP will still monitor if anyone leaves the network and that IP address get free, it will right away assign to the extra node, the node that is waiting in the line. Usually that's what networking team is. I mean, that's what all the organizations are aware of. That's the reason they buy big ranges so that they don't get short of this. Usually that's yeah. Usually that does not happen. But yeah, but typically, if the ranges are short and the users are more, that's what the problem is. I also like at times I face that problem when I entered my own company. When I started my laptop, I was like, hey, why am I unable to connect to Wi-Fi? Then I went to the network team asking, "Hey, I'm unable to connect to my network. What's up?" And he did check, and he was like, "Hey, all our IP addresses are utilized. We will buy more. We're planning to buy more from our ISP, but right now this is a problem. As soon as someone leaves the network, as soon as the IP address gets released by some other laptop, you'll get automatically." That was a situation I faced. I hope that answers your question. Oh, Toveen has a question, but what this is okay. Let me do the Tovin question. But does that mean they cannot connect to internet while they wait? Yes, they cannot because they have to get an IP address. There's no way they can connect
Hey
to the.
Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You are talking about one thing is external IP, that is a dedicated IP assigned to the router or any server. This 255 is actually a subnet. Subnet is not a private IP group.
Yes, it is. Anything that's so remember, I showed you the slide. Anything that starts with 10.172.192, these are all internal IP addresses.
Okay, so the max is 255, 0 to 255. So why they need to purchase the from the IP? This is the internal. They use a multiple IP address of this one.
So basically, the reason they have to buy is the question here is okay. So let me take you this. The question is if their range has, if their subnet, if a company has only one subnet, okay,
Can you go to the back slide PowerPoint?
okay.
Internal IP addresses they need to buy out, or they use anybody can use this 172.10 or 190.
No, so they have to get in touch with their ISP, internet service provider, and they will ask you how many sets of ranges do you want. Typically, that's a company. That's where a corporate level companies deal with.
Okay, I mean Comcast or Verizon, they
Comcast,
also
exactly.
ask about your private IP address, what you are assigning, 120, 192, 172
Exactly. They will ask you. They will ask the company like how many ranges do you
subnets.
want, how many IP address, or how many subnets do you need. So a particular company can have like 45, 50.24. These all they can have typically these many subnets. Yeah.
Okay, okay, man, I'm mixing. I'm thinking that they only normally they is static IP. The Verizon or Comcast give one static. Okay, they also ask about the how big your subnet.
Correct. Yeah. Anytime the corporate can buy or get assigned any subnets they want, any number of subnets. So eventually, for example, to avoid confusion, if I have a company, I can buy, like, I can say, hey, I need these many IP addresses. So can you assign me this subnet, this subnet? Yeah. They'll give you options, and you can pick and choose.
When they give you a one IP address and how many subnet? 255 or
So
516?
24, I mean, there are like ranges. 24 is 255. Then there are like 26, 30, depending on the range.
Okay.
So the easy way to explore or to open this up, they're online websites. The one I use is, wait, let me show you. The one I use is okay, IP subnet calculator. This is really simple. Oh wait, let me. Okay. So if you want to expand typical subnet, all you have to do is take that subnet, go to the website, online available free website, and paste that subnet, and you will get the expansion right away. If you scroll down, this is what it will do. It will open up that sub range for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. So, I mean, this is like all network concepts. I know, trust me, networking is so huge. And I was actually getting afraid of touching this topic, but it's kind of important to understand the future tools. I hope that clears up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I guess that is what happens when you try to like Xfinity hotspot and it does not connect you to the network, right? I guess so. Tulvin has another question. I guess that is what happens when you try to connect to Xfinity hotspot and does not connect you to the network. Probably, so hotspot, I'm not really sure. Okay, so when you open a hotspot, when you're trying to connect to the network, probably yes or no. I'm not really sure on that. Yeah, because if I'm using my Wi-Fi, if I open my hotspot and anyone tries to connect, possibly yes, because I haven't thought about it, but yeah, possibly yes. Any other questions around this? Okay, great. So I think we can move forward. Yeah, because I mean, IP address concept is it could be a little tricky, and but for sure, I mean, if you have any questions, let me know. I will try my best to make you understand what's going on. Okay. So yeah, coming back to the topic is so just remember like internal IP addresses and external IP addresses because that's what we will be using. That's what the information we'll be using for scanning. Uh, Now this is a small quiz that you can get for your. I mean, you can practice by own and can tell me, okay, what do you just classify the type of the IP? Looking at the IP address, you know. Do you want me to put it in the chat? This is just for a practice, nothing crazy. I'll just put in the chat so you can do your own exercise and say, okay, just identify what IP address is that, internal or whether it's internal or external, okay? Just for your practice. Okay, so moving forward, now you understood what is internal IP address, what is external IP address. One more thing about external IP address. Now, I think I will, yeah. So take an example of Facebook, okay? You should be able to, if you want to know a website's IP address, Facebook or Google, you can do it by using command nslookup, okay? Google.com. So as soon as I do nslookup google.com, it will return me external IP address. Oh, they're using IPv6. Okay, let me try facebook.com. Okay, here you go. So what I did, Facebook.com can also be used as ffb.com, just for knowledge. So what I did, this is a command that you can use to identify any website's IP address. any website. For example, I have used IP void. Okay, this is a website. Let's try to find the external IP for this website. I will tell you why I'm doing that. Okay, and let's look up ipvoid.com. Let's see what IP address it has. Now, can you tell me what are these IP addresses? Is it internal or external? I'm waiting on. I'm keeping my eye on the chat. Okay, great. Why? Okay, internal. Why are we not able to see their internal IP address? First of all, because we are absolutely correct. Yes, because of firewall, because we don't have access, because if there is their network. Yes, true. The how it works, why are they having external IP address? So typically what happens in an organization is, let's take an example, Facebook. They have an internal server, okay, that they build application on website, and they have their internal connections and stuff. But when they broadcast that web application and put and allow that application to to showcase, to show external world, to have, because they want external people, world people, to access Facebook. Okay, right? So what they will do, they will host the website to into DMZ, and that's how everyone will be able to access that website, like Google.com. How do you think you can access Google.com? You're not reaching out to the internal network. They have hosted, they have made this as public and put down to DMZ, and that's how everyone in the world can reach out to this website. Okay? And when they host this type of application and make it visible to the world, it will get the external IP address. And that's the reason we are seeing this external IP address. I hope that's clear. So anything, for example, you build a website, okay? You are a developer. For example, you build a website. And what you will do, you will develop, okay? You'll put that website on a server, okay? Because for hosting and for making it public to make it available to the public, you will have to host on a server. It could be internal, it could be external. It has to be internal. Now, when you want to make that available to the public, you will put that host into DMZ. Okay. I mean, that's a typical architecture every company follows, but it depends on a company to company. Okay. Just a disclaimer. So DMZ, and you will allow all the internal people to see only the website. Okay, and that's how you are seeing Google.com. Okay, and that's the reason you're able to reach out to Google.com. Now, what I will do is the best information I can get, the max information I get is just the external IP address. I won't be able to see the internal IP address, nothing at all. Yeah. So this is the external IP address that I'm talking about, because in Qualys, when I will start, we will be scanning these both internal and external IP addresses to find vulnerabilities. You will understand more when we start the project. Okay, but as of now, just remember what is external, what is internal. Okay, internal is the IP addresses that are assigned when you are connected to internet or to your network internally. You will have that unique IP address. And the external IP address is something when you reach out to the internet or when you host a server, okay, that has a functionality to be a website, for example, google.com. I hope that makes sense, right? I mean, these are like networking and architecture level knowledge. Any questions, any confusions, please ping me right now. Okay. I know it might be a little confusing, but down the line, when we move forward, you'll be able to understand what exactly I'm talking about. Okay? Just keep in mind, internal and external IP address is how you can recognize, okay? So that was the basic around network architecture, what a typically company network architecture looks like, okay? And what happens when they connect to Wi-Fi and types of IP address and how you can classify these IP addresses. So I think for today, I have a question from Rosin. Why a user have to both internal IP address? User has to have both. Okay, so user typically does not require external IP address. To be frank, it just have to have internal IP address because without getting an internal IP address, the user won't be able to connect to internet. That's first point. Okay, so for example, if I don't have this IP address, where is my configuration? Okay, if I don't have this IP address assigned, okay, if I don't get an IP address from DSCP protocol, that means I won't be able to connect to internet. That's how the protocol says. Okay, I mean you're wondering like why do we require IP address? But that's a protocol made, and so I will tell you an example. How I mean how if you want to reach from start from your office and reach you if you want to start from your home and reach your office, you cannot say okay why I have to use bike. Okay, you have to use some sort of transportation to start from your home and to reach your office. The transportation is IP address. There has to be something in between that connects your home to your office, that takes you from your home to your office. That's exactly what it is. In order to have internet connection from your laptop to internet, the IP address are the protocols that will do it for you. And that's the reason you have to have IP address. Now, external IP address, a typical laptop does not require to have external IP address, but the way they have set up, eventually the router will have external IP address. If anyone, so for example, if you serve, so I will give you a situation. Now you know torrent, right? Torrent, you're illegal to use torrent. When you connect to any website on the internet, okay? And for example, if you use torrent and you download something, if they track down who have downloaded it, they will get the external IP address only. Okay? Just to make you understand the concept. So whenever you browse anything on internet, your external IP address will show. That's the IP address of your router. Okay? And companies, if they want to trace back, they will first get that IP address. They will chalk down the Comcast, I mean the company that is providing IP address, then they will reach out to you. So in short, internal IP address is for your internet connection. External IP address is whenever you browse, go out to the internet, there has to be external IP address that is accessing the internet. Okay. I hope that's clear. Okay, is the range on your so Toveen has a question. Is the range on your laptop different from the one on your phone? Yes, because as I've already mentioned, every device that connects to your internal network, okay, will have a unique IP address. So, for example, you got assigned a subnet, okay, and you have a range of like 255 IP addresses, for example, okay. Any devices that connects to X, Y, Z, any devices, okay, that connects to Wi-Fi will have individual unique IP address from that range. 10.34.5.256. So here you get the same 3 hexadecimal starting, and then you get 0 to 25. So any device that connects to Wi-Fi will get unique IP address. Is that answer your question, Toveen? So she has a question. So is the connection strength different too? That depends on your device. That depends on how fast you use the device. Because if I'm using Windows 7, the processor is like only 500 MB or the processor speed, RAM is low, then yeah, you will have problems. So the connection strength depends first on your device configuration, how good is the device. Second, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, the distance. So if you have a router in in the hall and you're sitting in on your terrace, right? The signal strength should be good. That's how the connection strength is defined. Okay? Yep. So these are like networking concepts, and I know, I mean, we can spend a lot of time in clarifying this this doubts, but that's not the scope of the training. I know I've gone beyond what I have to explain. Uh, okay, I think someone did the exercise. Great. Thanks, Mir. So internal from Kevin Sherwan, internal. Perfect. Great job, Mir. Yep, that's right. Yep. So yeah, just remember the ranges. Now, when we start TVM tomorrow, that is our next topic, threat vulnerability management. This is the very first project that's really important, and you will have to understand the IP addresses concept, and that's the reason I initiated the networking and IP concepts. Okay. So yeah, I think that's about it, and I believe we are over 7 minutes. I don't really. I want to be respectable to everyone's time. I don't want to extend. Any questions before we disconnect? I mean, I know pretty much everyone will have a lot of questions, but feel free to ask. It's okay. Go for it. Okay, so I don't think so there are any questions, I guess. I will wait for 1 more minute if anyone has any questions. Okay. All goes so far harmony. Okay, great, Ali. Mir, thanks. I will wait for 1 more minute for any questions, and then we can disconnect and connect tomorrow. Okay, we're all good. Now, one of the things that I would suggest highly is to try to understand, try to Google and try to understand what is internal and what is external IP address, why it's used. I mean, just for your knowledge, if you're still confused, I mean, of course, we can take down questions tomorrow as well, but just for your knowledge, try to Google what is internal, what is external, and when you will get external IP address and why it's used. Okay. All right then. Great. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah, great. Good session. Yeah, Tobin. Right. Thank you. And always, audience makes the session great and interesting. It's not the person who's teaching. Trust me, it's the audience who asks questions and who can make this session interesting. Okay. I appreciate everyone's time and thank you for joining call. And we'll touch base tomorrow. Okay. All right then. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good night. Bye.